season, the Anivia can definitely be considered. But remember, Anivia is strongest against multiple tanks. However, it's a good laning matchup into the Rise. You outrange him, you're able to use the wall for a lot of disengage and engage. It's not necessarily a team comp answer to what Kongdu Monster want to do, but it can always evolve to be if they force Kongdu Monster into a 5v5 team fight.
I do like, though, you mentioned winning the lanes, and we saw it out of Kongdu Monster in Game 2. They won the lanes, they won the game, they had the Olaf jungle to help out as well. This time SKT says, you're not going to win the lane, we are the better team. We don't necessarily need the direct answer to your composition, but we are better players, and we're going to show you with our draft.
They're not surrounding the top side like they did in Game 1. They weren't respectful around Kongdu's winning lanes. They lost. In this game, the Fiora, slight advantage over the Gangplank, who will farm. We know how that goes. The Zac and Sejuani is basically a wash. Sejuani has most of the aggressive options when it comes to the earlier laning matchup, and it is a winning lane matchup for Anivia over Rise after 6, when you can actually show some threat and put down the Glacial Storm. But this is Spicy Valdez. It's still a best of 1, and crazier things have happened. We just saw Kongdu Monster win pre-30 minutes against SKT. Can they find their 3rd match win of the season and take probably the most popular team in the world and dump them out of playoffs? Your first thought always is no. Your brain says no. But it's weird to say that Kongdu Monster are still in with a shot. We're going down to the wire.
At least Faker still smirking after that last game. They went back to the drawing board, they went into the room, everybody calmed down, and they're ready. They've been in pressure situations before. Feels weird to say that a best of 1 against Kongdu Monster is a pressure situation, but they need to win 100% to make it into the playoffs, and certainly that's pressure enough. So let's see how it's going to go down. A game number 3 between SKT and Kongdu Monster.
Does very, very well against Fiora in multiple different ways. Raised in the mid lane on a ward.
Faker trying to bait it here. Let's see if he can do it. The stun is going to miss. No wall comes out. There it is, finally in tangency with his ultimate. Ray's taking a lot of damage, but has to flash over the wall.
Did not walk through the river from the top side, but you could argue Faker hasn't been spotted either.
He's finally spotted, but the Chains of Corruption come in. Now they're gonna TP down to try to help out Soul, who's taking so much damage, but it's not enough. Turning it around onto Bang, but now Edge in a lot of trouble. The kidnap, though, onto Bang, but not enough damage coming out onto him. The wall trying to keep in Edge, but he actually makes it over. Faker flashing the wall. He's trying to be the carry, but it's not enough. The last auto cannot take out Edge, and he will survive after all of that.
Another even fight, 4v4, but nobody dies. Tal has the Cannon Barrage to throw it in. Doesn't get anything, and Ray's going back in.
Oh, hello. Is that enough damage, though? He needs to get the auto with the red. He flashes in and he gets it. The first blood. He is going to trade his life after all of that. Kongdu Monster certainly cannot follow up, but they do get the kill. And Gangplank also making his way down to the top lane. We could have a Fiora pushing top.
Decent, but at 18 minutes getting the second one, you don't feel fantastic, as you mentioned. Race is walking up. This is risky.
Yeah, he's just walking straight into them. He's going to use that to get Faker to the back line, and he's forced to get out of here. Doesn't really do much after all that, as he's forced to flash away anyway.
Cancel the teleport as well, and Tal will go top lane, trying to interrupt him. Will not be able to do so. They don't get...
Match of the LCK 2018 spring. It's as close as ever. They're looking for another dive onto Tal here. The defensive Cannon Barrage once again, but they're fighting through it. Here's Raze as well saying, hello, I'm going to pick up the kill. They're going to give that one over to Roche. But can they get into the back line here? They're going to get on top of Soul. No Devour just yet. Finally comes on in. Trying to get him to safety. Here comes Faker. He's got his ghost on. He wants to get the wall, but this time Ray's going to jump into the back line. Varus is going to stand tall against them. Ray's now TPing on in. The wall, they're trying to kill Zac here in the end. Nope, TP to get them. The Devour to get Kongdu Monster out of dodge. At the end of all of that craziness, a 1-for-1. Easy 2-1 victory in the last series, but we'll see. They're going to go on to Soul here. Nice Devour.
Watch for the wall. Watch for the wall.
No wall comes out here. Going to bang some heads together is Raze. As Faker Gonna engage once again onto Raze. They're gonna blow everything onto this Zach, who tries to get away. Does kidnap Blank in, but there's no further damage. Edge coming from the left side, trying to go 1v4.
He's done for.
There's the wall once
Secret.
again. The stun coming on in. Secret, but effort coming from behind, denying him the devour. A great play from our rookie support. The SKT fans gonna cheer as they win that fight in big numbers.
SKT really want Baron from this play. They should start it, you would imagine, but they're trying to deal with the Fiora in the side lane. They won't be able to get the Baron. That's so important. These shits at 50% health.
There's a Cannon Barrage taking that damage, and the TP committed to from Tal. They want this Infernal. KDM Monster trying to disengage, but they're going to re-engage here. TP coming in from Edge now. Looks like Effort going to have to give his life up for that Infernal Drake. A pretty good trade, after all, for SKT.
What does it mean, though? There's no Tracker's Knife, so you know you have a time to get vision control around the map on everyone else. And now they're going for the piggyback again. It's the way they like to go.
Yeah, Edge doesn't have his TP,
They're going
but
for
he has it. Here we go. The grand challenge is going to be Brock up against the wall. Going to deny it for now, but here comes Ed from behind, and they get the kill. Trying to dive the mid lane turret is SKT, but it doesn't work out for them. And look at this. Effort taking a lot of damage, has to ultimate away. Great play for KDM Monster, after all.
This is something that SKT should have expected. They tried the piggyback again and again in recent series, but this time they're going to pick up an inner turret. You and I know all about the piggyback. It's ProTV and OGN, an old favorite of ours. But the piggyback strategy of sending 2 teleport users to the same lane, even though Edge's teleport was on cooldown, gets them.
It's in the ghost on Faker. KDM Monster saw it too. There's no TP. Faker trying to make his way on over. Will they commit to this is the real question. Blank. He's got an opportunity to steal. Change of Corruption's coming in, and the force flash out of Bang. Bang, rather, he is able to get out of there. And KDM Monster, now they just want to get out. They cannot fight this, but getting low is raised. The Ignite ticking.
Is it going to get him?
Kill him. So close, but it's not going to do it, it looks like.
They're out of the fight. Does SKT turn onto the Baron from their trust in their Baron speed? That does mean that Ray's able to heal up. But he's face checking again.
Yep, someone has to face check. It's going to be Raze this time. Up against the wall, is going to be taken out. Certainly a huge pick for the side of SKT as they get the jungler away.
This should mean Baron, but SKT are continuing to bait. They're drawing the ultimate. Soul gets a huge chunk.
That's the huge barrel onto it, and it means that Secret is also going to pay for it with his life. SKT should start the Baron now. We got Roach down the mid lane, trying to make him pay for it. Might be able to get this mid lane inner.
Try and get a turret, but that's just 2 inner turrets in exchange for Baron. KDM Monster make big hits around the Baron.
This time it looks like SKT has read it well.
And
Effort coming down.
He has ult up as well.
And he does, and here's Blank as well.
Nice post.
Okay. Can use the Realm Warp to get away. They're just going to try to walk it.
Ghost from Anivia.
Here comes Faker trying to get that wall down. They're looking for Edge here.
He doesn't have flash.
Oh, he misses it. And now trying to engage as it looks like finally they will get Roach. And now Secret forced to cleanse away from this one. Should not be able to get out of there. And SKT, they're beginning to roll with the punches, and they're getting ahead from it.
One by one, the members of KDM Monster fall. The moment they saw Alistar, they could have just disengaged. They went for the pick, which was never going to happen. They give up the Infernal. Feels like the neutrals are where the big lead is for SKT. They have 4 Drakes, including double Infernal. They still have the Baron for 2 minutes. KDM Monster need to force SKT into team fights, otherwise this game should end.
They're getting a huge Baron power play, and we're still 2 minutes left on the Baron. They have so much time to make even more of it. Let's see where they decide to go. The mid lane inner turret is going to go down with Tal pushing in the bottom lane. But how far will they go? Are they willing to dive into the mid side? Still Secret is down, as well as Roach. The push continues.
Wall still massive on the rise. It has to be so respectful. There's flashes up. Tom Kench back, so they can push up a little bit more aggressively than before.
And a root effort here, another wall, but Secret can always devour over onto Soul.
Ray's just trying to be an annoyance on the side. Won't actually be considering an engage. Fiora clears out the minion wave and is looking to groups level 18 for both GP and Fiora. But like we mentioned, Roach is not set up for a team fight.
Soul being the hero here, eventually able to take out the bannered up minion. And trying to be the sniper too. His W's are going to begin to hurt as we get later on in this game. But SKT, they really want to get this. There's the wall again, but another Devour on point. Chains of Corruptions locks them down. The inhibitor will also go down, but Blank getting low. It's not enough as Secret is going to pay for it. Now Raze is going to be stunned up, and another kill going to go over to SKT. Will they continue pushing? Still 51 seconds remain.
It's the reality of the comp. They can't 5v5, but they're trying.
Rogue's going to disappear once again, and they're going to catch Eds as well. It looks like the dream for Kongdu is not going to come true as an ace comes through onto the side of SKT, and the TP will come in. It was so close. The pressure was there, but SKT, they meet it, and they will get into the playoffs in fourth place with the win over Kongdu Monster 2-1.
High drama in the second last match of LCK Spring 2018. SKT creep over the line, but it's not the triumphant inauguration of their playoffs. It was only just Valdez, and they still have a motley crew of the best teams in the world. Be their victory. This is the minimum you would expect from SKT. Qualifying for playoffs, the fans will say they did it last year, but this has been their worst return in LCK history. They dropped 23 games in LCK Spring 2018, 23 back, more than an entire NALCS season of games. Meanwhile, their worst return previously was 15 games. Job is done on the day.